What to do with an empty vessel on the SCP Wiki, written by SCP Wiki user Dr. Fern. The SCP Foundation has a very particular policy for the containment of deceased anomalies and anomalous employees. Indefinite storage and preservation are in store for every anomalous entity that has the displeasure of dying while under the Foundation's care. The first 48 hours after death are crucial for the study of an anomaly's effects post-mortem. It is in this time that effects usually begin to wane. Dr. Wilson Fredericks of Site 17's mortuary understands this. His role is clear: repair as much damage to the corpse as possible so the other researchers can study it. Death is not a ticket out of containment in the Foundation. This is Dr. Wilson Fredericks reporting on the successful reconstruction of one Dr. Patrick Fernandez Lomas's skull and brain post-mortem. Subject suffered a terminal gunshot through the frontal and parietal lobe, as well as a single shot through the left leg. Post-mortem surgery was successful in undoing a majority of the damage to the subject's brain thanks to the usage of SCP-7340. Upon closer inspection during reconstruction, I have noticed that this subject possessed abnormally lower neural pathways than the average human. How this relates to its anomalous properties is unknown. Wilson clicks off his recorder and sighs. The reconstructive surgery on Dr. Lomas's mind was successful, but costly. Not enough useful information could be gleaned from his mind to determine how he held the database inside his head, or how he could access it. Contradictory evidence was found instead. Fewer pathways than average, a shrunken Wernicke's area, and an oversized occipital lobe. Wilson never met Patrick in his life, but in death he was quickly becoming a headache that he couldn't shake. His instructions came from the highest sources: extract the SkipNet database from Dr. Lomas's brain by any means. A task that was quickly becoming harder and harder to achieve as time went on. The official instructions were to leave the goggles on Dr. Lomas, as no one was certain if his eyes had reverted to baseline human after death, and the risk of eyesight loss was still too great. Performing cerebral reconstructive surgery on a corpse wearing goggles is no easy task, more unnerving than anything else, truly. He watched those goggles constantly throughout the procedure, waiting to see light flicker back on at any moment. But they never came back on. Not like they used to. To hear typical TV static in a room without monitors is confusing on normal circumstances. Hearing it in a room alone with just you and a dead body is cause for concern. Wilson's eyes scanned the room, looking for the source of the sound. Slowly, realization hits as dim, flickering light began to emanate from the dead corpse's goggles. Oh, what the fuck? Wilson whispers quietly to himself as the corpse groggily sits up with a groan. Oh, thank the non-existent gods above. It grumbles out as it stretches out its back with light pop. No other voice in this head except my own now. Feels good. It turns to Wilson. Surgeon, are we still in Site 17? There's training for this. The silent alarm button somewhere nearby. Wilson does his best to hide his fumbling hand, searching for the alarm button. Yes, we are in the Site 17 morgue. You should know that, Dr. Lomas. Ah, you didn't know him. Figures. Yeah, Dr. Fern checked out, bud. This is my body now. Been too long since I could feel, move, walk. It feels good. It slides off the table to its feet, looking down in its nude form. Gonna need some clothes. You look about my size. Excuse me? It lunges at Dr. Wilson, quickly pinning him down to the ground and wrapping its fingers around his throat. He croaks as air is restricted. His arms flail, trying to loosen its grip. He reaches for a scalpel and plunges it into the corpse's arm to no avail. Liquid static bleeds out of the wound. The entity grins, plucking the scalpel from its arms. Thanks. I will be needing this. It plunges the scalpel into Wilson's nose and jams it deep with the palm of his hand. Wilson's scream is cut short as the blade lodges itself through the cranial wall. All right, let me make sure not to get too much blood on your clothes. I will need them, of course. Let's see if this'll work. Wilson gags as it forces his mouth open with both hands. It grunts with effort as it continues to force his mouth wider, The jaw begins to crack under the pressure. Come on, bud. A little more. A loud, sickening crack echoes through the room as Wilson's jaw fully rips open. The edges of his mouth tear as his jaw is pulled off and tossed aside. I always wondered if I could do that. So much for clean. Hopefully he's got some spare clothes here. The best part of being someone not many people know in a massive site like Site 17 is that not many people know when you died and won't question it if they see you walking around again. Just walk like everything is as it should be, like you have an important task to get to, and people won't even look you away. You can go wherever you would normally be able to go, like archival storage to grab some unimportant items like a face mask, a new jacket, and the Lost Gospel of Mary, for no particular reason. Okay, let's see how well this recording does. This is a test. Hopefully higher quality stuff coming soon.